Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Sishyam Tam Todakam Vartika Karamanyan Asmat Gurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Puranaanamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidparam Maunavyakhya prakatita parabrahma tattvam yuvanam vasishtante vasatrishiganaihi avrutam brahmanishtai acharyendram karakalita chinmudramanandarupam swatma ramam muditavadanam dakshinamurtimide Puram Vasya Nalo Nilombaramahar Himam Shuppuman Ityabadi Characharatmakamidam Yasyaiva Murtyashtakam Nanyat Kinchana Vidyate Bimrshatam Yasmat Parasmat Vibhoho Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namayitam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. We are looking at the various upasanas as the last part of this Dakshinamoorty Stotram. As we have seen, Dakshinamoorty Ashtakam, it is only 8 verses, but this portion said to have been later on added or it to be considered as an auxiliary. And we have seen up to verse number 25 in the Ullasa, where here Ashtanga Yoga is being explained, and we have seen in the form of what are the Ashta Angas of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, which is according to Patanjali. First one is Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyanam. First is Yama and Niyama. First start with Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyanam, Samadhi. So in this, Yama Niyama we have already seen in the explanation. Asana has been explained in 24 and 25. Now, after Asana, it is usually it is Pranayama. But here, in a different order, after explaining various asanas, is now bringing in Dhyanam. Let's see here, verse number 26. Niralambana yogasya Niralambana masanam Niralambataya dhyanam. Niralambas sada shivaha. Lamb, the very word lamb, lambate, means that which hangs down. Which hangs down. Lamb. Alambanam is that which you hold on to support, for its support. If you are climbing a tree or if you are climbing up a ladder, the ladder usually is to come from the top down. Then only you can climb up. If you are going up, something must be coming from the top down. And you hold on to it to climb. That is why the word alambana is used. So here alambanam means, in this context means, that which is a support with which you ascend. But in our upasana, we take up any form of God as a physical symbol on which we can pay attention. Usually, as I said, asana, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyarana, and then dhyanam. But here, dhyanam has been brought forward to indicate whom are we actually meditating on. In this upasana, we are meditating upon Bhagavan Shiva or Dakshinamoorty. This Dakshinamoorty, does it have any support? Bhagavan doesn't need any support. To reach Bhagavan, we need support. So, Niralambana Sadashivaha, Niralambaha Sadashivaha. Bhagavan is Niralambaha. And Sadashiva here to be akin to Paramatma, Parabrahma Swarupa. Who is Asaktaha, Anirvachaniyaha, Anadharaha. It does not have any kind of a support, but he supports everything. This is substratum of the whole thing. By himself is supportless. Niralamba Sadashivasya Dhyanam, Niralamba Yogyasya, Niralamba Namasanam, Niralambataya Dhyanam. Nir means absent of. So, interesting thing is, if you are to meditate upon the Lord, who does not have any, who doesn't depend upon anything else, independent he is, to meditate and reach him, one should not, really speaking, take any support. That's why Om, it is considered in our Upanishad and all, Om is considered as an alambana. With the chanting of Om, mind becomes concentrated, one-pointed. That is why it is Omidi Edad Alambanam Shreshtam. Om is a great support for mind using the sound symbol, able to meditate, leaving aside all other thoughts. This japa of Om, Omkara, is to be followed by ajapa. Chant Om, but follow it by silence. And again chant and silence, chant, silence, chant, silence, silence, chant, silence, more, chant, less. And silence extended, less chanting. Silent extended, no chanting. That is called Niralambana. No more support. So, Niralambana means Karacharanadi Sthana Vishesha Niyamalambana Rahitam. without any support of hands and legs and all other things, because asana includes various puja and other things. But here, Niralamba Yogaha, Niralambah Sadashivah iti Nirvisheshaha Paramatma Tad Alambanam Tasmin Manas Samadhanam Niralamba Yogaha Ityarthaha. So even the earlier asanas are explained, but finally what you need to reach is Niralambana Yogasya Sadashivasya Niralambana Masanam. Niralambataya Dhyanam, without any support, meditating upon the Lord is called Niralambana Dhyanam. So, that is the beauty of then he having just pointed out, even though asanas are used, but asanas are by itself are meant for becoming free of all support. It's not to say asanam, comfortable asanam, that alone is sufficient, no. Mantra alone is sufficient, no. Mantra is also to be given up. Asana needs to be overcome. Transcend the asana. Transcend the mantra. Transcend all the sound. Transcend all support. Okay. Now, continuing. Pranayama. Now it goes back to the routine. Now let us move on to, from asana, we have to move to the pranayama. What is pranayama here? Rechaka purakaschaiva kumbhaka prana sanyamaha. First, Rechakaha Purakaha Kumbhakaha. Kaha means to do. Karanam. Recha Karanam Rechakaha. Purakaranam Purakaha. Kumbhakaranam Kumbhakaha. Not Kumbhakarana. Kumbhakaranam. Kumbhavat Karanam. Rich means to let go. Poor is to pour in, to fill in. Purnam, Purayati, pour in English. To fill in. Now, when pranayama is taken, first empty out the air from the lungs. It's called Rechaka. Then, followed by filling up the lungs with the air. Purakaha. Now, this should be, once you fill in the air, the pranayama is not just breathing. That we always do. Breathe in is filling up the air with the lungs with the air, and then emptying is the exhale. That is done. But pranayama is little more than that, where after having filled in the lungs with the air, stop it. Don't take it again. This holding the breath inside and not letting it go is kumbhakaha. Like a kumbha where air, something is filled in and you close. So the pot is full. In the same way, the lung is filled with air. Stop it. Don't take it in or let it go. Let it go. This is important because usually when we breathe in, we don't pay attention. But paying attention to the filling in of the air and not letting it go makes your mind not have any other thought but that. So this way you arrest the movement of the mind. So Rechakaha, exhalation. Purakaha, inhalation. Kumbhakaha is holding the breath, retention of the breath. Now, there are two methods of kumbhaka, antar kumbhaka and bahir kumbhaka. Antar kumbhaka is what is said here. That is filling up the air, the filling up the lungs with the air and not allowing any more air to come, nor even allowing it to go. This is called antar kumbhaka. It is little easy because the air is already there. Then slowly let go, and then after emptying the lungs, don't take it in, stop it. That's called bahir kumbhaka. Now, but that is not advised for everybody. Those who are, especially those who have high blood pressure, it is not advised. But Antar Kumbhaka is more easy than Bahir Kumbhaka, because not taking breath is difficult, but holding the breath is easier. So that's why it is given only that. It should be done under the or the with the help of the teacher, who will gradually increase that length. Not at once a person can hold the breath or not take the breath. Kumbhaka, Antar Kumbhaka, Bahir Kumbhaka is not easy. But over a period of time, when a person slowly practices, it not only helps a better breathing pattern, but also it helps one to maintain quietude of the mind due to mind paying attention to the air, attention to the breathing, while breathing in, holding, and letting it out, holding, again breathing in, again holding. So this activity of the breathing will help the mind to calm down. Pranabandhanat liyate manaha ekachintanat nashameti, as Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi has pointed out. Continuing, what is known as now pratyahara. Pratyahara. A means to samantat, complete. Hr means to harati, to let go. Ahara means when it is aharanam, is opposite of haranam. Harati takes away. Aharanam is to bring in. Gamanam, agamanam, come in. Gamanam, to go. Agamanam is to come in. Similarly, ahara means to take in, not only by the what food that we take, usually that is what is referred as ahara, but all sense organs continuously are getting the input from the world outside. So therefore, indriyanam samastanam vishayebhyo nivaranam pratyahara iti proktam pratyaharartavedibihi. So when you add the suffix, there are two suffixes are added here. Hr, harati, as I said. With the suffix a, it is the opposite, taking in, aharanam. When one more suffix you add, prati, not taking in. Prati, aharanam, pratyaharanam or pratyahara. Pratyahara, verb. It's a, sorry, noun. Pratyahara is a noun, pratyaharanam is the verb. So here pratyahara, the act of non-engagement in the world. The attitude of not entertaining objects coming into through the sense. Indriyanam samastanam, of all the sense organs, vishayebhya, from the objects of the world, nivaranam, avoiding, prevention. Pratyahara iti proktam. This is what is known as pratyahara. Who? Pratyaharartha vedibihi. Pratyaharavirt. Pratyahararthavid means those who know the practice of how to do this, by them, vedibihi proktam. Now what it means is that having made your mind and senses to some extent disciplined by yama and niyama, and having made your body sit down quietly in one place by asana, control of the breath, the mind has become relatively quiet through pranayama. Now mind has to be arrested, and that is not easy because it's always going through the senses. So the senses are the outlets through which the mind is constantly going out. So making sure the mind does not anymore, see, thoughts will come, that we'll see later. But at least the movement of the mind through the senses towards the object should be stopped. Yoga is always a discipline. Do. It is not a suggestion. Do or don't. This is how the yoga works. There's no may you please consider not doing it. It is not a request. It is not a suggestion. It is not an advice. It is instruction and command. Especially Hatha Yoga and all, there is no question of you, may you please do, nothing like that. Do it. What? Like in a military, left, right, left, right, left or right? No, left only. You cannot say, I will put left, you put right. Everyone who is marching must follow the same order. In the same way, pratyahara is a discipline of arresting all this, the mind away from the senses. Nivaranam. Vishayebhya nivaranam. All right. Now, next one is dharanam. Dharanam is a continuous flow, is called dhara. Dhara is a continuous flow. Dharanam, continuous flow, making continuously flow. What? Thoughts must be continuously flowing in one direction. This is a prerequisite for dhyanam. He brought dhyanam before just to show that where we are heading. So dharanam is what? Adhare kwapi manasaha. Stapanam dharanochyate. What is dharanam? Dharana is kwapi adhare. Kwapi in something. As against niralambanam, here there is a need for alambanam. Adhar, some support. The support is used only for the sake of eventually not having any support. It is like when you want to go to sleep, you need a bed and a pillow and other thing. But after you've gone to sleep, you don't even know which bed you are lying down, which pillow, other pillow is there or not. Once you are in that, then you don't need any support. So in the beginning, it is necessary. Like the child before walking, it is attempting to walk, then it needs support. It holds on the child, mother's hand or father's hand or something, and then slowly walk. Afterwards, when he starts running, you sit down, running all the time. Stop. So in the beginning of this time, when the child is getting up, click. Oh, my child is standing. My child is running. Afterwards, if you run, do it again. Sit down. Why? Because in the beginning, that fellow is so carefully, he'll fall down, no doubt. But he needs a support to hold on to. So here also, kwapi adhare, where the support is for? Mind. Manasaha stapanam. In some support, keeping the mind on that is dharanam. So holding something external for the mind. Shubha Vishaye Hridi Avishkrita Vishnu Adi Murtau iti artha. Whether it's a form of Vishnu or Shiva or any other form of a Devi or any deity of one's own mind, favorite deity or Ishtadevata, where the mind can hold on to think about the higher. That is Manastapanam. Manasaha Stapanam. Manastapanam kade. Right, not that. Because Manastapana means Thapanam. That is Tapa. Tapa means burning. So I am not happy with you. I have a Manastapam with you. That is, I have a displeasure. Tapa means Tapa. Tapati. Burn. My mind is burning thinking about you. That is called Manastapam. Here, Manastha. Stha means to stay. So Manastapanam, Manasaha Stapanam. So that is what is called here as Adhara, which is for Dharanam. It is for continuous flow of thoughts towards a particular object of worship. Not iPad Stapanam, TV Stapanam. No. That is not allowed. some murti of Shubha, as it is said, Shubha Vishaye. Next is Dhyana. Brahma Vishnu Shivadinam Chintas Dhyanam Prachakshate. So it is said, Prachakshate, it is spoken. What is Chinta Dhyanam? Chinta here to be understood as flow of thoughts. Brahma Vishnu Shivadinam Chinta. About Brahma or Vishnu or Shiva or Devi or Ganesha or Hanuman, any one can be the deity here. A flow of thoughts towards any of the deities, the mind moving away from the world and exclusively engaging with the support of an external symbol. That external symbol, when it is holding on, it is called dharanam, and when the thought in the mind is with the help of that very external form, thinking about maybe 108 names of the Bhagavan and the qualities of the Lord is taken up, or the charitra of Bhagavan, the case of Sri Rama, etc., or singing the name of the Lord, or singing the kirtanam, by which the mind slowly is having a thought flow towards the Lord, is called dhyanam. The difference between dharana and dhyanam is, where dharana there can be interruptions, dhyana there should not be any interruption. That is why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Ajyadaraya Shrotasa Samam Sarala Chintanam Viralata Param Veda Bhavana Sohamitya So Bhavana Bhalat Bhakt Bhavana Vida Bhavani Mada Bhava Shonya Sad Bhava Samstuti Bhavana Bhalat Bhakti Ruttama. That bhavana is important. So here, विषय विशेषे विष्णु आदो मनोवृत्ति धारा प्रवाह भेदः धारणा प्राणेन सह मनसः क्वापि स्थिरीकरणमात्रम्. Keeping the mind steady is the purpose of dharanam, whereas continuous flow without any interruption is dhyanam. That is the difference. Now, dhyanam leading to what is known as samadhi. Samadhi is two types. Yes. Nirvikalpa and Savikalpa, starting with Savikalpa, and where Triputi is there. Triputi means Dhyatru, Dhyanam, Dhyeya, Vishaya. These three Triputis or three components are there. The meditator, the meditated, and the meditation. Object of meditation, the subject, the person who is meditating, and the act of meditation. Dhyatru, meditator, Dhyanam, meditation, Dhyeyam, what is being meditated upon. These three different things are there present in a Savikalpa Samadhi, and slowly the object of meditation alone would remain. The meditator gets merged into that object of meditation, wherein there is no more act of dhyanam, act of meditation, where the individual is no more independently available than the object of meditation. That is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So now here see, Dhyanad Aspandanam Buddhehe Samadhirabhidiyate Amanaska Samadhistu Sarvachinta Vivarjanam. Dhyanat, by this continuous flow of thoughts, aspandanam. Spandanam is movement. There is no more movement of the mind. it comes to a standstill, as if when you go to a place where there is a still lake, there is no air at all, and there is no other thing that is disturbing the water. And if you look at that water, it looks like a sheet of glass and beautiful reflection of the mountains around or the sunlight, whatever. It is pure, clear reflection takes place. That's called aspandanam, stillness. So this stillness that comes to our mind, dhyanad aspandanam buddhehe. Buddhi being the reflection of consciousness. Chidabhasa takes place in the buddhi, or Chidabhasa itself is called the buddhi here. Chidaha abhasaha, Chidabhasaha, the reflection of consciousness. So the reflection and the reflected, what is reflected? The sunlight. The reflection that is taking place on the lake, which is still, as though there is no difference at all. Sometimes when you take a picture in a still lake of a mountain, reflected on that, if you put a reverse also, it looks same. It is so completely reflected. You do not know whether you are looking upside down or straight, because the reflection has become completely reversed, as though mirror effect. In the same way, consciousness which is getting reflected in the buddhi, due to its stillness, it is totally in tune with that one. Buddhehe aspandanam dhyanat samadhihi iti abhidhyate. That is called samadhi. Samyak adhanam samadhanam. Samyak adhiyate is completely available. Samyak adhiyate, completely surrendered, totally in tune with. That is called samadhi. So therefore here the samadhi sthiti is of two types, as I said. One is called savikalpa. Savikalpakaha samadhi samanaskaha, along with the mind, jnatra jnaya vibhaga ulleka lesha sahitaha angam ityartha. There is a little presence of ulleka lesha, a little presence, lesha means little, ullek, and a sort of existence of dhyatra, dhyanam and dhyaya. Meditation, that it takes place between the meditator and the meditated. So when the Brahmaham Brahmasmi is taken up as the only single thought, Aham Brahmaha Asmi, Aham Brahmaha Asmi, Aham Brahmaha Asmi. Here three things are there. Aham, I, the Dhyatra, the meditator. Brahma or Brahman, the Dhyaya, the one meditated upon. And the Asmi is taking place. You are connecting the two. Aham Asmi, if you say, there is no problem. If you say Aham and Aham Asmi, there is no difference, right? Are you there? Aham. Or you say, are you there? In English we ask, I am. I exist. But in English you say I am, it is as good as Aham Asmi. Asmi is a redundance, really speaking. In English, in Sanskrit, Aham is enough, sufficient. Aham Asmi, when you say, it is redundant, but you can say if it is necessary. But Aham Brahma Asmi, when you say, that Brahma word is presently one is attempting to be. Aham Brahmavat Tishtami. Aham Atmavat Tishtami. Na Dehavat. Na Dehe Tishtami. Na Deha Rupena Tishtami. Aham Brahma Rupena Tishtami. So the attempt to be in the Brahma Swarupa, in the form of completely emptying the mind and having only one thought, aham Brahma Asmi, aham Brahma Asmi, aham Brahma Asmi. In that context, so aham is more pronounced than Brahma to begin with, because I have to transcend my I-ness and also to let go of that. The let go of that aham, when the attempt is being done, that is sa vikalpa. Samanaskaha ज्ञातृज्ञेय विभाग उल्लेखलेश सहित अंगम एदैहि अंगैहि साध्यम निर्विकल्प समाधि रूपम अंगिनम योगमाह अमनस्क समाधि इति. सर्वचिंता ज्ञातृज्ञेय विभाग उल्लेखः तद् वर्जितं लय विशेष परहिततया प्रशांत अवस्थम इत्यर्थः. So where the aham part is also gone, asmi is also gone, Brahma. That is nirvikalpa. Asmi is not there. I am asmi is not there. Aham is gone. Asmi is gone. Brahma. It is like I want to sleep, 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 I want to sleep. Who's sleeping? At that point, you, the one who is sleeping, has no recognition of the fact that you are sleeping. The sleep alone is there. In the same way, that aham asmi, that both are gone, only Brahma remains. So this is nirvikalpa. So that is why I say amanaska samadhistu sarva chinta vivarjitam. There is no more existence of any thought as such. There is only pure awareness. So long as even one single thought is there, it is savikalpa. Savikalpa means with the thought, even that is gone. Nirvikalpa, that is considered as the purna avastha of the complete abidance. So what happens at that point? Chitte nischalatam yate prano bhavati nischalaha. Chittasya nischalatvaya yogam sadhyanam abhyaset. Chitte nischalatam yate. When the mind has become still, nischalatam, no more movement, yate, when it is gained, pranaha nischalaha bhavati. There is stillness of the prana also. Here prana to be understood as movement of the air in the form of prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, all of them. Now, when does the chitta nischalatam is obtained? By one-pointed attention on the object of meditation, where the individuality, the self, is no more independent of anything, no more away from the object of meditation. Even the attempt leading to the total merger to that Brahman, wherein there is no more thoughts that exist, the mind already has become nasha. Layasthiti of the mind is savikalpa samadhi. Mana nashaha in nirvikalpa samadhi. That nirvikalpa samadhi is where mind is destroyed. When we say mano nasha, there is no more upon coming out of the nirvikalpa samadhi, a person ever would become a experiencer of the effect of his vasanas. His vasanas will be there expressed through him, but he no more be one who will hold on to the desires and vasanas that come on to him in the form of experiences, he will, as even he would express, they will keep getting exhausted. There is no holding back. It is like I have money in my bank and I take it and use it and not to invest it. What we do, as even we use it, we try to make sure that we invest it also so that I get more money out of what I do. Here, in the case of a person who has gained the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he is only to spend, no more to any more make profit out of it. So such a person will let go of all his holding on to any of the vasanas. He becomes an empty vessel, so to say. So here, chitte nischalatam yade pranaha bhavati nischala. When that the mind has become completely motionless, his prana also becomes still. Why it is that I'll tell you later about that part. And here, usually pranayama is used for the sake of quietening the mind. But here, the quietening of the mind that is obtained out of samadhi is through the method of dhyanam. Method of dhyanam, attention upon the object of meditation, and that is done through dharana, dhyanam, samadhi. This is what has become more important than merely focusing only on the prana. Because there are people who may not believe in any particular personal God and only using the pranayama they try to attempt into dhyanam and samadhi. I mean, directly they try to attempt into samadhi. Here, specifically, Sureshwaracharya says his method here is not to use pranayama for samadhi. He is using dhyanam for samadhi. That's why he says, Chittasya nischalatvaya yogam sadhyanam abhyaset. Don't try to go towards samadhi merely by control of the breath. Go through the route of dhyanam. Pranayama helps the mind to become quiet, but what is to be highlighted is dhyana, meditation, and not just. Why it is so? If it's not done Shravana Mananam, Dhyanam will not take place. Because there is no object of meditation, object which is called Brahman there. So the pranayama may also take directly to you to samadhi. That state of samadhi is without having the knowledge of Brahman. It becomes quiet and still and go to a state of merger, but merger into what? Into nothingness. And when a person wakes up, not necessarily such a person will be an enlightened person. It will become a deep sleep like a coma. It is said that one yogi was there, and then he went to a king and said that I can stop my breath for days together. So the king said, okay, demonstrate. So then he went into a room, went into a small, underground, and then he stayed there for 1 week. He was completely worried. No way air could go. The king was very worried. When he dug him out, he was alive. Oh, Mahayogi you are. No, I can stay for 1 whole month also. But to do that, at the end, you should give me your daughter for me as a wife. So the king said, anyway, this fellow will not be surviving. 1 month and all, nobody will say, okay. He said, all right. That fellow went in, and then they closed him up. Then after some time, king forgot about him. So, but somehow this yogi, he dug himself out and came out. He just came out. You people have forgotten me. He told you I will come out. So what do you want now? I told you your daughter. So such a person can remain one whole month in that samadhi, but his desires are not gone. His vasanas are still there. It is only an accomplishment. Like Ravana. Ravana and all, they have done tapas, but what purpose? They have not become enlightened out of that. So here specifically, dhyanam is the route through which you should proceed on. That's what is said here. Now, but at the same time, when you go through the process of pranayama, what are the effects? What would be the various powers that a person would obtain if one goes through the route of pranayama? So that is said here from 32 onward. Akunjanamapanasya pranasya cha nirodhanam lambiko parijihvayaha स्थापनम योग साधनम. So, apana vayu is that which goes down. Udana vayu is what goes up. Ye prana apano samo krutva pranayama parayanaha. In 4th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna explains this. Not fully, but just mentions this point. Prana apano samo krutva pranayama parayanaha. What needs to be done is the incoming air, prana, and outgoing air, called apana, must be controlled. The control of the outgoing air, akunchanam apanasya, compressing, contracting or regulating the apana vayu, akunchanam apanasya pranasya cha, of the incoming air, nirodhanam, pranasya nirodhanam, apanasya akunchanam. Pranasya nirodhanam, incoming air is stopped, apana vayu is compressed. This practice, and then lambika upari jihvayaha stapanam. These practices should be done with a great attention. Nobody should attempt on one's own. They will give very grave consequences. Because you are dealing with body. It is like if you want to take a medicine, better talk to a doctor. You cannot on your own take something, and then it will be a major problem. You cannot do your own surgery, can you? So these are all something which you are doing on things that you don't know. It's what is happening you do not know. It's all power, energy movement. So this tongue is turned around and go towards its root and holding it there. This is how they control prana coming in and apana going out. Retention of both. Lambika upari jihvayaha stapanam. Tongue turning around and going to the tala inside. The palate, inside that palate, see the one which is hanging around, right? That one on the back. You make the tongue go and then hit that point. Don't try, huh? If you get stuck, then you can't talk anymore. This apanam yoga sadhana. This is a yoga sadhana. So, which needs to be done again and again. That is pointed out, must be with a very great attention, with the help of a teacher. It is to be done. So these are all various yogic practices. He is mentioning it because these are also there as a part of upasana, but it's not necessary. It's suggested for a student of Vedanta. It's not necessary, but these are all there in the science of yoga. So at that point, nischitte nischalata yate prano madhyapatam gate chinyane dani jayante panchabhuta jayat pratak. In that way of holding the prana apana movement also, there can be chitta nischalata. That's what it's trying to say. Through dhyanam also you can bring the quietness of the mind, stillness of the mind. With the pranayam also you can bring a quietness of the mind. And that quietude of the mind is for various siddhis, various powers. Chitte nischalata yate. When the mind has become quiet and still due to this particular practice, then prana, as we have seen, Ida and Pingala are the two nadis, and in the middle is what is known as Sushumna nadi. When prana apana are controlled, Ida and Pingala are controlled, and now the prana will now start moving only in the Sushumna nadi. That is why prane madhyapatam gate. When the prana starts to move in the madhyapada, meaning the energy that is started to move from Mooladhara onwards all the way to Brahmarandhra and beyond. This is how a yogi starts moving the energy from Mooladhara to Sahasrara. While that movement takes place, there are various powers that start to manifest. He becomes a conqueror of Panchabhutas. Panchabhutas are part of the body, and the Panchabhutas will be conquered by such a yogi. Panchabhuta Jayat, as it is written in the second line, Panchabhuta Jayat Pratak Jayante Etani Chihnani. Chinnani means these kind of indicators. What are the indicators? That 5 different various kinds of power manifestations will take place. Panchabhuta Jayat Pratak Etani Chihnani Jayante. So there is the division of the body, basically. Padadi Janu Paryantam Prithvi Sthanam. From the knee onwards, from foot to the knee, is the area of earth. Janu Adi Nabi Paryantam Apam Sthanam. From the knees up to the navel, it is the water element. Tadadi Kantha Paryantam Tejasthanam. From navel to throat, it is the area of the fire element. Tato Bru Madhya Paryantam Vayusthanam. From the throat up to the middle of the eyebrows, it is the presence of Vayu, element of Vayu Sthanam. Tat Urdhvam Brahmarandhra Paryantam Akasha Sthanam. From the middle of the eyebrows up to the Brahmarandhra, it is space. Eteshu Dharana Abhyasa Kramena Etat Jayad Etani Uchignani Bhavanti iti. Now, from there onwards, the yogi remaining in the Brahmarandhra, if he has reached there, he can choose to leave. In the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he remains at the level of Brahmarandhra, and if you would like to go beyond that to Sahasrara, he can easily, from there he can take off. And that is considered as Jiva Samadhi. That is the yogi's choice at that point. So this is having said, but if he has conquered all the 5 elements, starting from the feet to the knee point to the navel, navel to the throat, throat to the Bhumadhya, Bhumadhya to Brahmarandra. This all the five from earth, water, fire, air, space. One by one he will conquer. So this conquering of five elements will give five different powers. पृथिव्याप्ते नलिके समुत्थिते पंचात्मके योग गुणे प्रवृत्ते न तस्य रोगो न जरा न मृत्युः प्राप्तस्य योगाग्निमयं शरीरं लघुत्वमारोग्यमलोलुपत्वं वर्णप्रसादं स्वरसौष्ठुवं च कन्दशुभो मूत्रपुरीशमल्पं योगप्रवृत्तिं प्रथमां वदन्ति. In Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it is explained. One by one, that is taken up here in the next verse as we see. Malamutrakapalbatvam Arogyam Lagutatanoho Sugandhaswarnavarnatvam Pratamam Yoga Lakshanam. First is conquering of the earth. That is Mala Mutraka Palpatvam Arogyam Laguta Tano. The excretion, Mala, Mutra, the urine, phlegm that body produces, these are all become alpatvam, kapha, mala, mutra, kapha. These three become alpam. Alpam means become reduced, less and less. And because of which there is arogyam, physical health, tanoho laguta, body become very light. Sugandha, the body will have a certain unique smell of the fragrance. Suvarnavarnatvam, body turns out to become of a kind of a golden hue color. These are all Pratamam Yoga Lakshanam, which is what is explained in Shvetashvatara Upanishad as Prithvi, up, Tejaha, Anilat, Ke, Samuttite, Panchatmake, Yoga Gune, Pravritte, Natasya Rogaha. There is no more Roga for him, no disease, na Jara, no old age, na Mrityuhu, no death. Praptasya Yoga Agnimayam Shariram. Body has become Agnimayam Shariram. Lagutvam, lightness. Arogyam, health. Aloluptvam, mind is unagitated. Varna prasadam, very clear complexion. Swara saushtavam cha, voice becomes very soft. Gandhaha, fragrant smell from the body. Shubhaha, mutrapuri sham alpam, the excretion and the urine becomes very sparingly. Yoga pravrittim pratamam vadanti. These are all the indicators of the first conquering of the earth, so to say. Now he will talk about conquering of the water, air, fire, space, how the yogi conquers all these five elements. And as I said, that he can choose to depart after having conquered the five elements. That which can hold the soul into the body is no more. He can depart anytime he wants. But he can choose to not to depart also. And then such a person will become a great blessings to the world. But again, these are all not necessarily Vedanta moksha or called Jivan Mukti moksha. That is not true, but that is not the result here. But such a person will have a great serenity and he will bless the world, live long guide the people into the right path and all that. Jnanam vina na moksha. There's no conquering without the, knowledge. There's no destruction of ignorance. There cannot be real Jivan Mukti. We saw that in the Panchadashi also yesterday, where Jivan Mukti is only through Jnana, no other. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.